everyone, welcome to my channel. So today we're going to be going over 10 culture shocks that I had as an American in Germany. If you don't know, I moved to Germany this year to join my German husband here in Berlin. So I do realize that Berlin is different than the rest of Germany, and we actually just moved here in June. And before we moved to Berlin, we actually lived somewhere else. So I've been to a lot of the states in Germany, I have traveled here a lot, and I have created 10 things that were culturally shocking for an American in Germany. And before we get started, let me just say that I love Germany. I think that Germany is so beautiful. I think that the people are literally the sweetest people that you'll ever meet once you get to know them. But there were 10 things as an American that I just found completely shocking. I know you guys are going to be like, oh yeah, you're an American, everything is different there. But there are a lot of similarities between Germany and America. But there are a lot of differences, and it doesn't mean that they're good or bad, it just means that they're different. So let's get started. The first shocking thing for me as an American was that grocery stores are closed on Sunday. So in the US, I believe Sunday is a huge shopping day. Like, I go grocery shopping on Sunday, and I just kind of like it because it's not really a time where I need to be doing anything, and I'm just not busy that day. So don't take my word on this, but my husband said that German grocery stores are actually closed on Sundays because it's a religious day, and also because grocery stores have to pay their workers more to work on Sundays and on public holidays. So, number 2. You guys are going to say that, oh yeah, it's because you're an American and you're used to it, and it's environmentally unfriendly. But the thing that shocked me the most about here was that there was no air conditioning. And for me, as an American, and from one of the states in the South that's hot all the time, literally, no air conditioning was a shock. So Germany doesn't really have a very hot environment, but there are some months that were really, really hot. Like this year in Berlin, the highest temperature was 39 degrees Celsius, and that's like 100 degrees Fahrenheit. At least where I come from, it is always cold in buildings no matter where you go in the summer, and the hottest part about summer is when you step outside to do things. And I do realize it is environmentally unfriendly and energy wasting, but sometimes I just miss the air conditioning, especially when I'm sitting in my apartment and it's 39 degrees inside. We have a newer apartment, and for whatever reason, it doesn't keep it cold in here. And so it doesn't matter what degrees it was in the morning, the apartment will always be as hot or hotter than outside. Number 3. Okay guys, so one thing that I found completely strange was that most public toilets are not free. So I've gone to so many places, I've traveled on the highway, I've gone to different public places in Berlin, I've been in public places all around Germany, and one thing that they have in common is that the toilets are not free. So you can pay anywhere between 50 cents and €1 to use a public bathroom. And this was shocking for me the first time because anywhere I go in America, generally it is free to use the toilet. You can stop at a gas station when you're on your way somewhere to a different city, and the bathroom is always free, no matter what. Generally, it's kind of one of those unsaid rules that if you go somewhere to use the toilet, you should buy something. So if I stop at a gas station, I should buy a snack or a drink or something else. The toilet should be free because of that. And here in Germany, you can stop at a gas station, not buy a snack, and just use the toilet, and you're paying for it. I do understand that paying for this public toilet is great actually because they keep the toilets clean most of the time. But it's not always the case. Number 4. So, if you guys don't know, I am a huge bakery lover. I fell in love with the bakeries in Germany. It is something that we don't have in the US. You do have some bakeries, but mostly they just sell cakes or donuts. Now when I fell in love with them, I started going to bakeries more. And one thing that I found in common about most bakeries, but not all, is that they only take cash. And that is a common theme in Germany. There are so many places that you can go to that only take cash because cash is king in Germany. They call it Bargeld. And basically, wherever you go, cash is the most accepted item. Now, I totally get that, and I totally understand, but as an American, I'm always pulling out my credit card. I believe in getting rewards, rewards, rewards. I can always redeem airline miles or cashback or anything else, and so I use my credit cards for most things because I want to be rewarded. There is no reward in using cash. Number 5. So this might just be something that I experienced as an American at just a beach here, but something that I was totally and completely shocked about was the fact that there were people walking naked on the beach. Now, I do understand that there are nude beaches around the world, but the beach that I went to specifically was not a nude beach, and yet I saw at least 15 people walking naked on the beach. In America, that is something that is not normal, and it was culturally shocking to me. I was like, oh my gosh.
Guys, did you see that naked person over there?
And literally, everybody was just like,
yeah, that's normal. Like, people walk naked on beaches. It was normal in the DDR.
And I'm not judging them. Like, do what you want. Flaunt your body. Like, get a tan, you know? But it was just shocking to me to see so many people, like, walking naked on a beach and nobody turning their head and being like,
Sir, you need to put clothes on.
Number 6. So something that was completely and totally shocking to me, and I don't find it good or bad, was that it is more normal in the culture for people to smoke in Germany. And I don't mean smoking weed or marijuana, I mean smoking cigarettes. And this is something in America that we have gotten totally and completely beat down about. Like, tobacco is bad for you. If you smoke tobacco, you're going to have cancer later in life. And even from a young child, they have different programs in schools, like DARE, for example, that shows you not to use drugs, including cigarettes. And so the younger generation in the US, most of them, it doesn't mean all of them, but most of the younger generation in the US doesn't smoke because it's seen more as a taboo. And when I first came here, I was kind of like, wow, I can't believe so many young people are smoking. Do they not have any sort of courses in school where they talk about how bad smoking is? But I also realized that this is a cultural thing and that some people just smoke and it's okay. So the 7th thing that I found completely shocking was that you don't actually tip waiters or waitresses in Germany. So sometimes they're called Kellner or Kellnerin, and basically these guys get paid a normal wage. And so a lot of the people in Germany don't believe in giving these waitresses or waiters a big tip. It's actually sometimes looked down upon. And I'm sure as a waiter or waitress, you wouldn't mind getting a 20-euro tip, but in the US, it is mandatory to tip. You can, of course, leave a penny as a tip if you want to, but if you do that, you better never go back to that restaurant. Whereas in Germany, it's completely normal to just give 2 euros or 1 euro as a tip to a waitress or a waiter. So something else that I found completely shocking was the fact that you can start drinking in Germany when you're 14 years old with your parents at home. And then when you turn 16, you can start drinking beer. And at 18, you can start drinking everything. So in the US, you can start drinking when you're 21 years of age. And that is completely normal. Of course, most people drink before they're 21, but legally it's not accepted until you're 21. And I actually think that this is really good because at 14, whenever you can start drinking with your parents at home, you can kind of learn what is acceptable to drink and not to just go out on a whim and get completely drunk and hungover and just not be available to do anything the next day. And I think that it starts with parents being responsible and teaching their kids what is okay and what is not okay. And I believe that this changes the culture a little bit in Germany, where drinking is more accepted and people are more responsible with their drinking habits. The next thing that I actually found completely shocking, because I've traveled around a lot and I've been to different countries, and it's always said that portion sizes are a lot smaller in these different countries than they are in America. And the actual surprise for me was that in Germany, portion sizes are somewhat similar to the US because you get a Vorspeise, Hauptspeise, and Nachtisch. And so you basically get a starter, which is usually a soup and a salad, your Hauptspeise, which is the main meal, and then after that you have the choice of getting dessert. Now, usually when I've been here, I've actually been pretty surprised that I'm pretty full by the time I'm done eating my regular meal. and I'm not actually interested in dessert. And let me tell you guys, I always have room for dessert. So that to me was completely shocking because I expected the portions to be a lot smaller, and I actually think that they're quite comparable to America. Now we're on to the last thing for this video, and the last thing that I found completely shocking and a little bit appalling as an American was the fact that you have to pay for water in restaurants. And I don't mean that you're paying for normales Wasser or sprudeles Wasser, that's the same thing. I mean that you're paying for water that you can get out of the faucet. And I do know you have the option to ask the restaurant for tap water, but I also have heard that this is not the most acceptable thing to do in Germany. And so generally you're paying anywhere from €2.50 to €4 for a glass of water, and the water really isn't that big. And once you finish your water, refills aren't free. So you're gonna have to pay for another glass of water. And in America, the one thing that I really love is that water is always free at restaurants. You're not being charged for it. And when you're halfway through your drink, the waiter is coming over with more water. And when I went to Germany, I got done with my water before the meal came, and I needed another one. And the longer I've been here, the more I've learned just to not drink my water until I get my main meal. Because if I do, I'm just going to go through all of that and then need a refill. And I just don't want to pay for something that I can get for free out of the sink. So guys, that was the 10 culturally shocking things that I found as an American. Now, none of these things are really bad. These things are normal in every single culture. But as an American, those are the things that I found the most shocking about Germany. Now, I have more than 10 things, but I wanted to limit that because I know I can talk forever. But if you guys enjoyed this video, please, please, please subscribe to my channel. I'm still very new here on YouTube, and I'm looking to grow. So, guys, I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I'll be back soon.